Hi. Again, I'm going to talk about New Hampshire government specifically. The New Hampshire Secretary of State is a terrorist organization. I want to go to Facebook and read the post that I just reported to Facebook for terrorism. Now, bear with me a second. Okay, here it is. New Hampshire state and local election officials are your trusted source of election information. If you have questions about voting, ask them. Well, I had questions about voting. I've asked the New Hampshire Secretary of State many times why they allow enemy attorneys on the ballot in violation of the Declaration of Independence and in violation of the original 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which was never repealed. It was hidden by attorneys who destroyed copies of the Constitution that had it in it back in the mid-1800s. Some of them survived. So we know that that original 13th Amendment that barred people with titles of nobility like Esquire from our government did pass and was included as part of the Constitution. Attorneys took over our country in the 1800s. The New Hampshire Secretary of State is part of that. I don't know if the current secretary is an attorney or not, but I would bet that there are attorneys working in that office in violation of our laws. Nevertheless, the New Hampshire Secretary of State is certainly not a trusted source of information about elections. Besides allowing enemy attorneys on the ballots, they allow domestic enemies known as Democrats and Republicans on the ballots. In case you don't know, all Democrats and all Republicans are enemies of we the people because none of them will say one word about the hundreds of thousands of enemy attorneys who work in our government in violation of our laws. Also, none of the Democrats and Republicans will do anything to end the existence of the Federal Reserve, which is owned by enemies of the United States and which robs everyone in the United States. In many ways, too many to list here in this brief video. I reported the New Hampshire Secretary of State's office to Facebook for terrorism. Facebook won't take any action on that. Instead, they keep banning me over and over. They let me on for a few days, then they ban me again for telling the truth about things like the New Hampshire Secretary of State engaging in terrorism against us. Now let me go look up a definition of terrorism because it's important. I'll be right back. Here we go. Terrorism. A threat of unlawful violence to inculcate fear, intended to coerce or to intimidate societies in the pursuit of goals that are generally political, religious, or ideological. That's part of the definition because this isn't actual violence that is being perpetrated by the New Hampshire Secretary of State. If you try to go against this terrorist organization known as the New Hampshire Secretary of State, they can take action against you and arrest you. So that's a threat of violence. They could probably take action against me now for making this video and telling you the truth about them acting as terrorists against the people of the United States by refusing to do their job and make sure that there are no enemy attorneys on our ballots. They won't do that. They're going to continue to violate our laws and allow enemy attorneys, enemy Democrats, and enemy Republicans on the ballots and coerce you through your stupidity of believing them to vote for your enemies. If all you see on the ballot are enemies, then that's what you're always voting for. Enemy Democrat, enemy Republican, or enemy attorney. You may at some point see a libertarian or an independent on there, but they're not going to get any votes because those people aren't allowed on the enemy TV networks to campaign. They don't get bribes from the corporations so that they could afford to be on TV, even if TV would allow them to be on there if they had the money to pay them. Even if you have money, TV won't let you on there if you're an honest person, because TV is only for liars. Only bribe-lying scumbags named Democrat, Republican, and attorney can appear on TV to ask for your vote. They're not going to tell you the truth about anything. They're going to make up fake issues, never discuss the real issues, and cause you to pick the perceived lesser of two evils so that one of those scumbags is elected. In case you don't know it, that's what you always do. You pick the perceived lesser of two bribe-lying scumbags that might represent your interests. None of them ever do, because again, the important thing is that none of them will remove the attorneys from our government, and none of them will take action against the Federal Reserve and the existence of that unlawful / illegal bank that robs the United States blind. That's a quick lesson for today. New Hampshire Secretary of State, terrorists. Thanks for watching.